and personal growth. I will begin with the first section of our meeting, and that section is where everybody gets to talk about their short-term goals. And for that, I will share my screen. Please give me a moment while I share my screen. I've started the presentation, and I would request everybody to please mute themselves, or else I would request the co-hosts to mute people who are not allowed to speak. I will share my screen now. Okay, and it's not, sorry. Starting with our first speaker.
Good evening, everybody. This is Aditya. I have revised my short-term goals, and these are the two that I have laid out. Instead of the 90 by 90, I will now do 45 social media posts by 30th October. And the second short-term goal I have for myself is to increase my reading speed to 340 words per minute by 30th October. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aditya.
Good evening, everyone. I am Ankur. My short-term goal is to become a polished speaker, and for that, I have chosen the SMART goal as completing my two paths: innovative planning and persuasive influence by December 2020. I am yet to progress from the last meeting because I have not delivered any speeches, but on overall, I feel that I am on track and I'll be able to complete it by the target date. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Shivpriya Prasad, and my short-term goal is to improve my hearing skills. And I am hearing a lot of people and going to different meetings uh, trying to understand them and uh, like I'm improving. I think I have 30. I'm aiming for 30% growth till the year end. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Anuseta over here. My short-term goal is to upgrade the English speaking skills by September 30th, 2020. My last score for in the British Council Learn English was 60%, and recently I've scored 70%. I hope to get it 80% by 30th September 2020. Over to you, Mr. Rupinder.
Hi everyone, I'm Devina Chaturvedi. My short-term goals are all surrounding dance and speaking and combining those two interests. My first short-term goal is to upload one dance tutorial video on YouTube. I haven't made much progress on that in the last week because I started a new job. My second is to use 5 new words or phrases in every prepared speaking assignment, and I've been able to do it 3 out of the 3 last prepared speaking assignments, and I hope to do it today as well. As well as my third short-term goal is to write 3 short stories inspired by my experiences as a dancer. I've written 2 out of those 3.
Good evening, everyone. I am Mukesh Thakur, and my short-term goal is around the pronunciation and enunciation skills. I have to improve upon it based on the measurement and the feedback given by the audience. This week, I could not measure it properly because I did not have a major role in the last meeting, and there was no opportunity of impromptu speaking. However, I would like to mention a parallel goal that I was following. So on 1st of June this year, I decided that I will write 1,000 words for next 100 days. That was to complete on September 8th. 2020, and today it was 105th day and more than 1 lakh and 8,000 words. So I am still continuing with it. Thank you.
Raj sir. I'm not able to see Raj sir. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
Good
evening, everyone. I'm Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are concerning voice and accent improvement, and I have been working on it by reading some material, as well as my second short-term goal is to give some modular speech outside my own club. So last week I had participated as a contestant in the Division P contest regarding uploading of some video on YouTube or some other social media. I have made the video, but it still requires some editing. So after it is completed, I will be uploading it. Thank you.
Roli, you're on mute.
My apologies. My name is Roli. Hi. And my short-term goals are to reduce the crutch words and filler sounds to less than 4 in 18-minute speeches. Currently, I'm clocking about 1 to 2 filler sounds in 5 to 7-minute speeches. I aim to have 0 grammatical errors. And so far, there has been one-time occurrence of 1 error in a 5 to 7-minute speech, as noted by the grammarian. I wish to use at least 4 new or uncommon words or phrases in 18-minute speeches and at least 1 uncommon word or phrase in 7-minute speeches. Right now, my average is a little less than what is quoted. It's about 1 uncommon word or phrase in 5 to 7-minute speech. I wish to have 0 D as for time limits. And so far, my excess has been by 40 seconds. Thank you.
My short-term goal is to learn to smile naturally by September 26, 2020. And I'm growing increasingly anxious because last week that smile wasn't there. The week before that, I had a very good score on the smiles, but last week it wasn't there. Trying to figure out how to get back to smiling again and trying to incorporate smiles into speaking opportunities. Speaking of speaking opportunities, I have been asked to speak at a district conference in January in District 8, I think, which is in the Midwest region of United States of America. And I'm hoping to put up a good show out there. Thank you. And possibly smile. Sandeep?
Rupinder, please move on. Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My short-term goal is focused on improving my writing skills. Currently, I have written 3 articles. That means my progress is at 33%. My 4th article is almost done, which was a rewriting of a speech which I gave at professional speakers. How much is too much? Based on the feedback which I have received on structure of the content, I would be rewriting my speech and using it as the content for the article. And I would be submitting the same to my mentor, distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi, for her feedback, and then I would be posting. Back to you, Mr. Presiding Officer.
Thank you very much, all members and professional speakers, for sharing your short-term goals. It is one of the unique things of our club wherein we catch up on how we have been doing. Now moving on to the theme of the meeting. Before that, my apologies. I would like to recognize all the guests that are gracing us with their presence. I would like to recognize Anil and Devin, Gayatri Deshmukh, Jatin Goyal, Joyita Bhattacharya from Blue Quest. Yeah, please keep on clapping for all of them. Kamal Gupta, the ever-present, omnipresent Nimisha Singla, Seema, Shweta Mathur, Suchasmita Mishra, and thank you very much for being here. Now moving on to our theme for the day. People say that I am a funny person. People who really know me know that I am not a funny person. My problem is that I am sarcastic and sometimes my sarcasm gets taken for humor and vice versa. Just to illustrate, A few weeks back, a person wanted to give a presentation and they came to me seeking help. I looked at the presentation. The presentation was way beyond horrible. And I told them that, look, your presentation can do with certain improvements. In fact, it could do with a lot of improvements. They thought I was speaking humorously. And they responded with, "Sir, you're very cute, you know that?" And I tried to convince her that your presentation is not up to the mark. She would not listen. She went ahead with that presentation, and I happened to be an unfortunate member of the audience. The presentation was so poor that we started with close to 98 people in the audience. By the first slide, we had come down to 60. Thankfully, this person is not a Toastmaster. And by the time the presentation ended, we had come down to around 25 people. In the space of 15 minutes, I had lost more than two-thirds of my audience. Now, I'm a person who likes to think of my audience as an army, as my brigade who's marching along with me as we go in our quest for excellence. And now this person comes up to me and says, "So how do you think of the presentation?" And this time I try to employ humor. I told her that, look, in another life, in another birth, I was a samurai warrior. And I used to indulge in massacres of people. And let me tell you, I have seen better organized massacres where I did not lose two-thirds of my army. She actually took that for sarcasm because I don't know what I was in my previous life. That was all my imagination. But she actually took that humor for sarcasm. As you can see, I'm not very good at humor, but I'm going to call on stage one person who actually is good at humor, who's actually good at a lot of things. What are those things? You will see it for yourself. It is my honor, it is my privilege to welcome on stage our Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Roli.
Thank you, Mr. President. And thank you for bringing in the concept of samurai warriors with their swords with humor. Because as Dietrich Bonhoeffer said, absolute seriousness is never without a dash of humor. Would you, as an audience member, think of Alfred Hitchcock when it comes to humor? Just a raise of hands, anybody. Would you consider him as a paradigm of humor? Okay. Well, Alfred Hitchcock, generally known for his suspense movies, his mysteries, films like Psycho, said that for him, suspense doesn't have any value if it's not balanced by humor. He felt that humor was the ingredient which kept audiences coming back for more and more. And his movies were sprinkled with a macabre kind of humor, like a roller coaster, where the passengers scream while the ride is going on and laugh when it is all over. Hitchcock believed that for the drama to be strong, it had to be surrounded by a light and humorous environment. Yes, a generous dose of humor is often our saving grace, but humor is also like a weapon. Why? Because of the humorous phrases and words that we tend to use. Some of these grabbed my attention, and I'd like to draw your attention to these as well. For example, Rupinder talked about how his jokes fell flat, how the audience's reaction killed his joke. He was trying to crack a joke. He was trying to deliver a punchline, but his slapstick humor, so full of gags, was too twisted for the audience to appreciate. Yes, you and I tend to avoid dark, black, gallows-like humor. But we do have a tendency to use slapstick humor. We do have a tendency to use words that will just call attention to something and be actually diverting our attention to something else. We fondly call them as puns. And we want that when people hear our puns, they should be rolling on the floor with laughter. They should be dying with laughter. People should not be groaning because of a poor joke. And the target of every speaker, every humorous speaker in this room, in this meeting, wants that the audience should erupt with uproarious laughter. Uproarious? Consider the origin. Uproar. While they deliver punches. How gruesome can humor be? I wonder if how many of you do think about this as you try to bring the house down with people who are cracking up with hysterical laughter. Hysteria, again, a word that is not really a positive one. And how can we forget roasting? We actually have modules and projects around roasting. Zany wisecracks and zingers designed to crack jokes at the target, probably with whom we have a bone to pick, so that the audience bursts out laughing. Whenever we do these kind of things, some of us may even remember that we have a penchant to slip into unnecessary punches. We want to get away by saying, oh, pardon my French, take a chill pill. Everything is designed in humor to be something of a weapon that disarms you. Humor calls you in and invites you to divert your attention and make you go in a direction that you intend your audience to go to very subtly. Making sure that you keep their attention, you maintain that, and they do not die of boredom. They may die of your poor jokes, that's all right, but they should not die of boredom. You don't want to lose your audience like the way Rupinder did. We move on to our meeting structure because we do not want you to get bored. We have a very interesting meeting structure. The first thing that you will be listening to is a professional speech of the day. It's an 18-minute speech. Today, distinguished Toastmaster Devina will be delivering it. After that, we'll move on to something. I am so sorry. I can see somebody shaking his head violently. Somebody who insists on using puns to save his life. Would that be distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur? Oh, yes. It is actually distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur who would be delivering the 18-minute speech today. Distinguished Toastmaster Devina will have her place in our meeting today, but that will be in the third section. Between the professional speech and distinguished Toastmaster Devina's prepared speech, we'll have the table topic section. Our timer, okay, it's not the timer that I really wanted to address, but he's shown me a green card, which is nice of him. So our table topic master is Toastmaster Aditya, who has his own way of delivering punches. It has a very rhythmic style, and you'll notice once he comes on stage and grills you. Moving on to our next section, which is the prepared speech, distinguished Toastmaster Devina, yes, Devina, we will be delivering it. And then we will move on to our power talk speaker, who's sitting there silently with his hand on his chin. Oh, he removed it. Oh, I am so glad I caught your attention, sir. Distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick will be delivering a power talk today. Thank you. After that, we'll move on to the evaluation section, which will be conducted by our general evaluator of the meeting today, Toastmaster Shivpriya. Toastmaster Shivpriya has her own team to support her for this evaluation. In her team, you and I are also included. From time to time, I'll ask you to note down your feedback for the prepared speaker, for the professional speech of the day, and they will come to the stage and ask you to share that feedback with them. So please do note at least one recommendation, at least one commendation when you are called on to do so. In the evaluation team, we also have our timer who has gone red and now he's turned white. I do not know why he is feeling so pale with fright maybe, but let us say hi or hello, good evening to our timer, Toastmaster Ankur Shrimali. Toastmaster Ankur Shrimali is one person whose sense of humor does not even spare God. In his humorous speech, he conducted an interview with God. God sat on a floating cloud, but I swear, even God was scared with the questions and responses that Toastmaster Ankur Shrimali had to deliver in his speech. Our counter today is distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. He's a self-confessed stammerer. Though I still have to see it, I do not believe it. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta will be counting our ahs and ums and filler sounds and crutch words, and I'm hoping that you will not be like me and will give him very little work to do today. We also have our recently crowned distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya Gowri. She will be our grammarian of the day today. May I invite her to share her word of the day today, please?
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day. A very good evening to everybody. It's indeed a pleasure being the grammarian for the day. The word of the day today is leery, L-E-E-R-Y. So it sounds lee-ah-ri. Interestingly, leery also was spelled L-E-A-R-Y. Sadly, it wasn't used in the last century properly, but it means to be cautious or wary due to realistic suspicions. For example, I feel leery or I get leery when somebody has the host access in our meeting. Or let's assume that there is one more usage which I would like to highlight. Pardon me for being leery, but I believe in seeing it work, not you telling me how it will work. It was shared by a fellow Toastmaster. I would request you all to use this word of the day in your speeches. Please incorporate it as much as you want, as much as you like, and not to encourage you to do so. Every time you do it, I would want the audience to appreciate using a thumbs up. Use either turn on your videos and give a thumbs up, or use the icons so that the speaker feels appreciated. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya Gowri. I will be leery of the words that she will be calling out for me as being used in a wrong sense. We shall now move on to our first professional speech, our first speech, which is a professional speech of the day. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur corrected me, thankfully. It's his job to correct. He's a chartered accountant. He says he's lazy. However, I know I didn't get the tone right. He gets it better in all of his humorous speeches because he has a tendency to tell and take. And his mastery over puns is such that he will extract the revenge of an evaluator by taking an eye for an eye. May I present Being humanitarian, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, being humanitarian, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur.
Thank you very much. I would just like to confirm if I am audible and visible.
You're audible and you're visible, and I would request the host to put the spotlight on distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur now. Thank you.
What? Did you hear that? They are saying that they are not going to host the humorous speech contest this year in the District 41 in Toastmasters International Year 2021. This year, my friend, is going to be the dark year of the century. Not because there is an outbreak of a COVID pandemic, not because there is a depression all in the world, but because, my friend, this year we will not have the humorous speech contest. Yes, you will be inspiring the role players and the hidden judges in your international speech contests. Yes, you will be changing the lives of the targeted speaker by bombarding the evaluations up or down. You might be getting the skills of talking, impromptu speaking without knowing the subject. But my friend, you will not be able to know where your funny bone exists in your body. Or is it? Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. In the name of our favorite humorous speech contest, let's take a pledge that even if the humorous speech contest is not being held in this year, we will make the international speech contest, the evaluation contest, and the table topics contest as the humorous speech contest. Before going into the detail, I would like to know, are you really about not getting the right topic for your humorous speech contest? Have you also thought ever that you will not be able to write humorous speech, or humor is not your cup of tea? Have you thought that the content is not ready? So before going into the humor part, I would like to ask from all of you, what is the one core thing from the humor speech contest in which, without which the humor speech cannot be written? One core thing. One thing without which humor speech cannot be completed.
Laughter.
It is part of laughter, yes. Aditya, you
Punches. Punches.
Okay, punches.
Smile on the face.
Maybe, may not be. We have not heard Surinder's
humorous situation.
Sorry?
Humorous situation.
Humorous situation. So that might be kind of funny things or stand-up comedies. Yeah. Sorry?
A twist.
Twist, yeah, you are close. So I am looking for the right answer, and here is the right answer. For the humorous speech contest, the most important thing to have is seriousness. Your serious topic, your serious message. Unless you are not having one serious theme or topic, your humorous speech is going to be the waste of time. You might have seen various world championship speeches, all the world championship speeches, you will find one thing common, and all the speeches are humorous speech. Because humor is not to entertain people. Humor is a tool through which you can convey your message to the audience very easily, because through humor you get the people connected to you. Otherwise, the mind of the people keep deviating from here and there. So if you want to try to go for the humorous speech, first thing is you already have a speech that is a serious speech. Now, about the topic, even I was struggling with finding the topics. When I was doing the speeches first time, I somehow got to go on the stage and started delivering speeches. Then there was a humorous speech contest, and I said, humor is not my cup of tea. I will not be able to do it. Somehow, I gathered some jokes and delivered it one time, and I said, that's all. I cannot do further. Next day, thing again, I put one more topic, and I got it, and that then I said, this is final. I cannot do it again. After that, I did it for 5 times and said, now this is my limit. But every time I would come up with some topics. So now I had recently thought about more about the topics, and I read somewhere that every day all of your mind have around 60,000 thoughts. A good speaker, a good writer finds 5 or 6 of them. There are lots of topics, and the one way to get rid of it is to go for the meditation for 5 to 7 minutes, blank your mind, and when you open your mind, start writing the topics, everything you find around you. Maybe the table, the fan, whatever you keep thinking of, everything, just keep writing down as the topic. So you will find around 100 or 200 topics if you want to. Then there is the selection process. Out of all those topics, what you are going to choose. So if you are interested in the topic, are you enthusiastic about the topic? Yes, take. Is the topic relevant to the audience? No, cut. Yes, take. Do you have a proper knowledge about the topic? No, cut. So there are 5 or 6 more criteria. You have to first see if it is relevant to the audience, you are expert about it, and you are enthusiastic about the topic. Now you have a list of many topics, and I will tell you that when I was not able to find the topics for the humor, I did the same thing, and I found around 42 topics only for humorous speech related to only Toastmasters. Leave apart the rest of the topics and life. So you just have to acknowledge that there are no dearth of topics all around you. Once you have selected the topics, now there is a matter of content, how you are going to write a structure, everything. So for that, you have to put some time. I did the same thing again. And what I did was I wrote everything I knew about the topic. So for 1,000 words of the speech, I wrote around 5,000 or 6,000. For 1 18-minute of speech, I wrote around 35,000 words because of my daily writings. So now we have everything that you could know about the topic. Now all you have to do is contract the speech. Your pages might come down to paragraphs. Your paragraphs might come down to sentences. Your sentence might come down to a word. Even sometimes you may have to delete all the pages because it is not relevant or not making any sense to your message. So now you are reaching to the right structure and content. Till now, there is no mention of humor. Humorous speech starts from here. And for that, you have to just uncover humor from that serious speech. There are various ways. I will talk about 2 major aspects. One is playing with the minds, and second, how you can build up the humor and make audience surprised. The first thing is playing with the mind. If you are going to talk something normal, people are not going to listen to you. They will just listen or get bored, and their mind will get deviated, and they will be thinking something else. You have lost that audience. So everything about the humorous speech is know your audience and know how they are going to react. You must, if you are delivering the speech in a Toastmasters, you must know how to are the things with Toastmaster. If you are going to deliver the speech with engineers or the chartered accountants or doctors, you must know your audience, how they are going to react, what will click. Second thing is delivering punches. So for that, there is one fundamental rule: context setting, build up, then punch. So there are various tools about those things, and first is misdirection. I will just give one example. You have to misdirect the audience to certain states because you have to make them surprised, and then you have to put the punch at the end of it so that you achieved what you wanted to have. So I'll just give just one example. In one of my impressive speech, I said that I was the chief judge, and I wrote a wonderful message and sent it to 75 people, because getting 5 plus 1 is difficult than getting God. So I kept waiting. 75 people, one tick. 75 people, two tick. My heart is racing. 70, 76 blue ticks. Now 35 people have read it. Now one person is typing and typing and typing. My heart rate is racing and typing and typing. After 1 minute of typing, he said, "Hi." So I have rightly set the context that people would be expecting something different to happen, but just by putting one punchline, "Hi," I made people laugh. The second thing is connecting truth plus surprise. You have to put something truth. There is something everybody knows, but nobody talks about that things. Just for example, I talked about lifting of the Humour speech contest. Everyone of you knows about it, but nobody has talked about it yet. That's how, if I am talking about it, you are getting interested in it. In the same way, I will give one more example, what Roli had also mentioned earlier, the use of however in the evaluation contest. So in my humorous speech contest, everyone knows that there are evaluations. You get a sandwich approach, and this is divided by however. First they will say commendation, then recommendation, then commendation. So what I said was like this. So after I came that I have delivered my first speech successfully, I came to know that there is an evaluator. The evaluator started, "Wow, what an amazing speech we heard today. You are this, you are that, we are proud, and you are God." I was on cloud nine when it said, "However, you did not do this, you did not do that, you did not jump, you did not pump, you did not cry, and you did not die." I said, "Oh my dear, follow me." The crowd opened. I stepped forward, but he said, "However, overall, this was an amazing speech." And yeah. This was some connecting to truth plus some surprises that you were not expecting. Yeah, but you are aware about these facts, and because I am connecting the dots, you are making. I am able to make you laugh there. The third is, if you want to know about the audiences, there is one suggestion: write 10 prime concerns about the audience, and write 10 frustrations of the audiences. So if you are going to the doctors, what are they frustrated to? What are their prime concerns? You might be knowing, but if you are going step by step, writing it down, it will make you build a structure very clearly. The fourth one is callback. And this is wonderful. You will find many stand-up comedians doing this callback. I will give again one example from one of my speech. So when I was I was delivering the role of the R counter. I said, R counters are very special. You delivered to them a life-changing speech, and they will come back with ahs and ums. Show them the movie Dar, and they will come back with Kiran. So I have set the context. I put that R counter Kiran. Now at the end of the speech, I was struggling with putting one more punch, and Devina said that there one more punch is required. I spent around 2 to 3 hours. I thoroughly searched over the internet and researched all the dialogues, but I could not got satisfied with any of the punches put there. So at the last, I just said, before giving the stage to the contest here, just by saying contest here, I got laugh. I did not deliver a punch. I did not set up a context. I did not build up nothing. I had put the background earlier, and just by recalling that I am getting laughter once again. I would also like to mention one of the tool used by Brans Bhandari, and also you can find it in many international speech contests. So first he described one situation, and the reaction of that character was, oh. So one oh was making all the audience remember that situation, and he used it 4 to 5 times in the speech. So by saying just oh, he was actually delivering the whole paragraph just by saying oh, and he was even getting laughter. This callback tool will do wonderful. You are telling much more things than you are actually telling by just uh, getting the callback. Next thing is rule of humor. You all rule of three. You all know about rule of three. First you set up the context, then building up. First sentence is normally universal truth. Second sentence is built up on that truth, and third is your punchline. For example, there are lies, there are damned lies, and there are statistics. So you first set up, you build up, and then statistics, and there is laughter because you did not go in the way of expectation. And the last one is exaggeration. If you are exaggerating beyond the imagination of the audience, it will go to the surprise level. Just for example, in the beginning of my speech, I was exaggerating the world will see the dark days of the century, the dusk of the century, the whole world will go into the depression. So everything was exaggeration, and if you are crossing the limit of imagination of your audience, you are going to make people laugh. These are some of the tools that I have utilized till now, but there is no doubt of the tools that can be put. I did not take anything from the internet. All I wanted to prepare it from my experiences. And before concluding my speech, all I can say is, if I can do humor, who had surrendered that I forget the humor, cannot even give the speech on the stage, and I reached to the district final. You all can do wonderful in the humorous speech. So just grab your pen and paper, write down your speech, and make your audience rolling on the floor. back to Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. I have noted my points for creating my humorous speech, and I'm not waiting for the contest for delivering a humorous speech. Did you notice that our professional speaker also hinted at all the things that I had been trying to talk to you about? But one thing that he might have suppressed a little bit is that humor is like a Swiss Army knife. It does so many things. It helps you connect with people. It helps you build trust. It helps you diffuse tension. It makes the entire room come alive. Humor can help you and your message to stand out. Yet, most of us hesitate in using humor, especially in our professional lives. Now, I'm not trying to point any fingers here, but just think about it. How many of us take humor along in our pockets, in our bags when we're going to work? And how many of us leave it behind in the car after switching off the stereo? Just because we're scared that we won't be taken seriously. Just because we feel we will not have any credibility. On the contrary, HBR studies have shown that employees trust strangers more than they trust their bosses. And employers look for people who have a sense of humor because they feel that they can be trusted to get the job done. So both sides are looking for that trust. Both sides are looking for that humor, but nobody is breaking the ice. Do you feel that pressure? You don't have to be the quickest wit in town. All that you need to do is look for the nuggets of truth in your daily lives. Some incongruity, some absurdity that made you wonder, raise an eyebrow, and maybe smile. Something that just feels funny. So you don't have to find funny things. You have to find things funny. There's a slight bit of a difference. It's just a change in the perspective, and humor can be a part and parcel of all of your life. So get rid of that pressure, get rid of that nervousness, because now it is time for our table topics and for you to participate and take the stage when our table topics master, Toastmaster Aditya, calls you. Don't be scared of raising your hand for Toastmaster Aditya Gupta.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the table topic section. This is where we develop or cultivate the art of impromptu speaking and thinking on our feet. I will be calling on members and guests on a random basis, and they will be asked to speak on a topic for 1 to 2 minutes. To start with, do we have any volunteers from the guests today? From the guests, you can, I see Devin's hand. Devin, I'll be calling out your name, topic, your name, and then you will have 1 to 2 minutes to speak, and the virtual stage will be all yours. You want to do a sound check before we go ahead?
No, I'm fine.
All right, perfect. We can hear you clearly. Devin, what was the last thing that made you laugh out loud? What was the last thing that made you laugh out loud, Devin Solanki?
Thank you, Mr. Table Topic Chair, for giving me this opportunity. Well, the last thing which made me laugh out loud was the irony which I see daily on TV channels, When you see that China and India are engaged in a bitter battle over the LAC, as well as there are cases of COVID-19 which are growing day by day in country, and people are involved at looking at Sushant Singh Rajput case on TV. Someday they are gung-ho about what Kangana Ranaut and CM of Maharashtra are quarreling over. They are not focusing on the major issue. So this is something which made me laugh out loud. I look at the mentality of the people, that how come they are diverting their attentions from the main issues, and instead of concentrating on the major issues, looking at those paltry things which are of no issues at all, and making fun of themselves. By looking at these TV channels, they are thinking that all these news channel reporters and other people are doing a great job and doing something to serve the country. But they are not looking at the bigger picture, that what they are neglecting by wasting their time in these smaller things. So this is something which makes me laugh always on these people. And we should also look at the people and the politician. Some people have made this a war of states. Some people are saying that it is between Bihar and Maharashtra. And some people are thinking that this is being done between BJP and the elected government of Maharashtra. Again, these are all the issues which make me laugh. Thank you. Over to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Devin. Well said. I saw Seema raising her hand before this. Seema, would you like to take a shot at it? And if yes,
Yes.
can we have you in the... All right. Can we also see you?
Certainly. Hello, Aditya, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. Waiting for you to turn on your video if possible.
Is it mandatory?
Not mandatory. Your call.
Oh, I will not turn on my video.
No problem. So,
Thank
Seema,
you.
your topic is laughter is not the best medicine. Laughter is not the best medicine, Seema.
Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak on the topic. Laughter is not the best medicine. Well, it depends on person to person, situation to situation. What is the meaning of laughter in anyone's life? For some, it can be making sarcasm. Maybe they are making fun of others. And if in that context, someone laughs and someone is getting hurt, then I would say laughter is not good. Because at that time, that person is getting hurt. Therefore, when one is laughing or having fun, one should make sure that other person should not feel like getting hurt or say satirical. Because what I feel that it is a sin to make fun of anybody. That too, after knowing that he or she is feeling bad about it. Because being human beings, it's our job, not even job, it's our duty to help each other, to stand with each other, to lift up each other, and to smile with each other instead of laughing. Because what is the purpose of life is to smile and make others smile. And if one is able to do so, I believe that person is an achiever in the real sense of the word. And that person will not live today, will live forever in the heart of the world. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Seema.
Thank you.
I see Nimisha raising her hand and Suchismita as well. I will come back to both of you right after this. I have something special planned for two of our dearest members, the DTM duo of our club. For the next one, I would like to invite DTM Rupinder and DTM Shivpriya on the virtual stage. Shivpriya, yes, we see you. So, our Toastmaster of the day talked a bit about roasting when she was introducing the theme of the day. And for the next 1 to 2 minutes, both of you have to roast each other. Just two basic things to be kept in mind. no derogatory remarks, and use only constructive criticism. For the next 1 to 2 minutes, roast the hell out of each other. The virtual stage is yours.
Rupinder, the stage is all yours. You can start. I would like to go after you. Go after you. And we can also roast the debate topic master.
For once, even though you may not believe it, Shivpriya, I agree with you. I feel like I've been waylaid over here. I feel like I've been violated by being dragged into this. He's clearly trying to capitalize on some of the feelings I already may have for you. What is your take on this?
Rupinder, you know that we have this amazing love and hate relationship that if you love something, I have to hate that because that's how we are.
I'll start with loving Aditya.
Aditya. I do love you, but I definitely hate your guts today. And coming back to Rupinder, because my job is to roast you, and I would love to do it with happiness and delight. Rupinder is like a struggling artist in Star Wars. I'll tell you why. The people who haven't seen Star Wars are the players or the actors who had been in that movie because they have never seen Star Wars. They lived Star Wars. But Rupinder is a struggling person over there because he wouldn't understand technology at all. So what I would want you to do, Rupinder, that try watching Star Wars and try watching some sci-fi so that you can understand technology and come back. And probably then you could become the honorable host and tech master of professional speakers.
Nice. You know, Shivpriya, you and I share, 3 clubs together? And in all of those clubs, the number of meetings that you have attended, your sister has attended more meetings than that, and she's not even a member of any of those clubs. Number one. Number two, I consider you the Subhash Ghai of District 41. You know why? Because he's a director. Technically, you are a director. You are an assistant club growth director. He makes cameo appearances in his movies. You make cameo appearances in club meetings. I guess this love-hate relationship will continue, but let's promise each other one thing, Shiva. One day, whenever you or I get to become a table topic master, make sure that Aditya regrets it.
Gladly. No matter, whenever I become a table topic master, trust me, I will pack the toughest, the scariest, the shittiest, the worst table topic, and I'll reserve only for Aditya Gupta, and that's a pact we make. Back to you, Mr. Table Topic Master, for the day.
Think again when you try to pit someone against me next time.
Thank you, both of you, for trying the roast out and for those threats you gave me.
They're not threats.
I would now like to invite Nimisha on the virtual stage. Nimisha, I have to ask you before I throw a topic at you. Are you a Toastmaster?
Yes, I am the Toastmaster.
All right. Nimisha, your situation rather is, you are the director of a movie being made on Toastmasters International. Describe the plot of that movie in the most humorous way possible. I'll repeat it once more. You are the director of a movie being made on Toastmasters International. Describe the plot of that movie in the most humorous way possible. Nimisha.
Thank you so much. Although I would like to star myself in that movie, but the plot of that movie will be which I will make on Toastmasters is I will include everyone. I'm sorry, seriously, I'm not getting anything on this. Trust me.
Go on, Nimisha.
Come on,
Okay.
keep trying.
Yes. Okay. I will stage the movie in the college where we have a lot of students, and also I will place few a little younger people, I will say, there as well, and there I will call. I will make again. I will keep Rupinder as Rupinder only, and call him as an international semi-finalist, as a presenter, as a so that the audience will come up and see and attend his session and show the journey of. Yeah, as I've heard a few people, I will take heroine taking from this forum, taking heroine as Shivpriya Gowri. I will I will take Shivpriya Gowri as heroine and getting motivated from our public speaker, uh, Rupinder. She is defining her journey and looking forward to the other players to collecting her. I will also include the sister, as she has played a major role. She's sister of Shivpriya, and will define the story somehow in a way that a college person who is always a shy is sitting in this last corner table, and after attending the session from Rupinder, she is somehow so confident about herself and starts speaking, start talking to everybody around. And one day, with this nature of her, she ends up having the hero of her college. So that will be my plot. Over to you, table topic master.
Thank you so much, Nivisha. Well tried. I'll now move on to Suchismita for the next topic. And
Mr.
this is going
Aditya,
to be, yeah,
due to paucity of time, we may need to curtail the table topic segment.
sure. Do we have time for one more or are we done?
We are done actually, as per the agenda.
I am so sorry. So back to with that, back to you, Toastmaster of the day. I'm so sorry, Suchismita.
I want to say, okay, next time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Aditya, and heartfelt apologies to Suchismita. Being called to the stage and then not being allowed to speak, that's like a privilege that I always want. I don't want to take the stage and speak because my legs are shaking and my hands are trembling. I don't know what I'm saying. I seem to be babbling. So I'm apologetic towards you, but I'm actually envying you because you got that chance that I never get. So Nimisha mentioned younger people. She wants younger people. So in my opinion, Aditya is very young. He's like half my age. If I'm look at Nimisha, I hope that I can satisfy your desire
Yeah.
to invite younger people. And before we move on to the younger person, I'd like all of you to just take half a minute, 30 seconds to note down feedback for distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur's professional speech. I neglected to do that right after his speech, but I hope that you will remember most of his speech and will be able to share your feedback with him. So we'll just take 30 seconds, and timer, you can probably let me know once those are over.
Roli, am I audible? I just want to do an audio video check in the meantime.
You're audible. Do you have a presentation or something to share? Okay. You're actually following Shivpriya's advice. Very good.
because now I can.
Yes, now you can. We can and we will. Toastmaster Ankur Shrimali, are the 30 seconds over? Because I can see that Devina is eager to dance her way to the stage. Distinguished Toastmaster Devina is one of our youngest members. She's probably one of the lightning bugs of our. She's like I have no words actually. She lights up the stage. She spreads knowledge and awareness. She stamps her knowledge armor over there and tells people who are twice her age where they're going wrong without any hesitation. She's actually a treat to watch. She's actually a treat to listen to. She, in her own words, is a budding speaker and a storyteller. And one of the things that a storyteller looks for is to grab the attention of the audience and to engage with them. And how humor helps here is by making sure that when we laugh, there are oxytocin and dopamine, which are released in our brain, and through our nerves, they are transmitted down, which means that not only are we gaining the audience's attention and trust, we are leaving behind a memory that they will retain forever. So humor is the one thing that lends the aha with an haha. Yeah, sorry about that. But let us welcome distinguished Toastmaster Devina. Her speech objective today is to communicate change. And the purpose of this project is for her to address a hypothetical change, how that can be communicated to a group or an organization. So while you're listening to her, do look for her tone, whether she delivered ample information about the impact of the change or not, and share your feedback with her after her speech is over. Distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi, customize your path. Customize your path, distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm meeting you after about 2 years today, and I come again to talk about a change. The last time I was here, I introduced to you the Pathways Learning Experience. And while we were all extremely enthusiastic about it, I know over the years, as we've tried to explore Pathways more and more, we've realized there have been some problems with it, some issues that have led a lot of people feel alienated and just be leery about this entire change that has come in. So as I bring to you once more the Pathways Learning Experience, today I would like to talk about it in the sense of a change. So it's not a change that's already happened. It's a change that Toastmasters International has now proposed. Yes, our education program is going another revitalization, and we're going to bring in some changes based on your feedback. Some of the issues that were there with Pathways that were communicated to us through the Facebook group or through emails that we received at the World Headquarters were that all paths appear to be same and they just appear uninspired. Some of the projects are repetitive, and the value addition that happens through taking up multiple paths is not that much. Some people said that they like the projects in the old system and they would prefer to speak about topics that they could choose as opposed to topics which restrict them with Pathways projects. Some raised the concern that it appeared to be a little too expensive purchasing parts after parts to explore the entire Pathways learning experience. And some said that the idea of customization that Pathways promised initially was not met to their expectations. We understand that it did not meet your expectations, and there are statistics that prove that our members are not that satisfied. We have seen that the number of paths that have been completed so far, take for example year on year, the average is much lower than the number of traditional awards that were being filed, even though each award and one path requires almost the same amount of speeches. In the sense, pathways does require some more, but the average is much lower. There is still, even though Pathways is the only program running now, still we do not have 100% enrollment, which means some of the old members have yet to register into Pathways and start their journey with their first path. Retention rates have declined across all districts, as well as the new member addition rates are also falling. This all points to just one thing, and that we're providing an unsatisfactory member experience, which is a shame because at every meeting we affirm that we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Seeing this, we bring to you an opportunity to customize your path. How will this work? Is there anybody who's curious to know? So what we're going to do is we're going to group all the projects that we have into different types. There'll be self-evaluation projects, which will take up all the understand your communication style, understand your leadership style, introduction to mentorship, and all these projects that make you introspect more than apply anything in life in particular. Then there'll be the basics, which include your voice, gestures, storytelling, visual aids projects that were the hallmark of your traditional education program. And then the advanced projects, which will involve projects related to professional speaking, theme-based speeches such as special occasion speeches or speeches like these about communicating change. And then leadership and event-based projects, which include organize online meetings, plan an event, high performance leadership, and such. Now, how the breakup would work is now in each path, you will be required to complete 17 such projects for one particular path. The minimum requirement in the sense within each of those types is that you'll be required to go through 3 of the self-evaluation projects, 5 of the basics, and 3 of the advanced projects. Again, from a plethora of projects, you get to choose your own 3, 5, and 3. For the remaining 6 projects, you will get to select from any of the remaining projects that are there in all those 3 types. Or you get to design your own. Just design it within the template that will be shared to you, upload it on the portal, and go ahead and apply it for your particular progress. What you can also do is select a project from the repository of projects available to you that will be uploaded by members across the world. So you might not have to develop your own project. If you just log in and search for a project, you might find something suitable on the repository itself. The only caveat is that you cannot repeat a path, cannot repeat a project within the same path. How would the road to DTM change? There are some positive changes. Your requirements are reduced. You can just see it right here. And out of the 2 paths that you're still required to do, they can be the same path with the same set of projects. You are still required to complete 12 months as a club officer, 1 term as a district officer, or as a club mentor or a coach. They're not an and requirement anymore. They're not exclusive requirements. They're clubbed together. You can sponsor a club or conduct Speechcraft and youth leadership and complete the DTM project. Coming on to the cost aspects. 6-month membership stays as such and will be under revision as per standard operating principles of Toastmasters International, the standard calendar, if I may call it that. But the cost per path remains $20. However, we're introducing bundles, which means if you would like to buy a set of paths together, in the sense if you'd like to have the option of doing multiple paths in the future and you'd like to buy a bundle together, there are some discounted price on offer right here, as you can see. Coming on to some of the modalities now. Last time we realized the one fundamental error we made was bringing the change was that we selected people who were part of the initial program on a random basis. What that did was it had some people who were not really enthusiastic about the program in the testing phase. For now, what we're doing is we are asking you, if you're interested in helping the program become better, sign up to be a part of the test. We will not select everybody. It will still be a random selection of a few, but this time the random selection will be from a list of members, a pool of members who are actually interested in helping the community come up with a better program. So sign up on the Toastmasters website. I'm sure you will also receive an email about it very soon. The timeline that we're aiming at is to have our pool of members ready by 30th September so that we can launch the testing phase by 1st October, run it through 31st March. And hopefully after the board of directors meeting in April, we can launch this new program with effect from 1st July 2021. That's all that I had to say to you today. And I hope you'll support us in this endeavor to customize the Pathways learning experience in a better fashion in the time to come. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi. Very sad to say that you had already specified that this is a hypothetical change. It would have been so wonderful if this was for real. I hope that you will take my request and propose this to TI. In the meantime, we shall take a 1-minute break to note down our feedback for distinguished Toastmaster Devina's speech. Timer, you may please let me know once the 1 minute is over. All the guests and the members are requested to provide their feedback, so please go ahead and be generous. For the member, thank you so much, Mr. Timer. I'd just like to take this moment to point out that distinguished Toastmaster Devina has posted a link for her feedback form in the chat window. Everyone, you can please click on the link and then provide your feedback there as well. That would really help us. Thank you so much, Mr. Timer. We are going to move on to something which is called as a Power Talk speech in our club. To deliver this Power Talk today, we have distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick. The reason why my voice has gone so low and I'm speaking so seriously is because I'm virtually scared of this gentleman. Yesterday during a meeting, yes sir, I'm about to explain. During a meeting, there was requirement for a role play. People were still deciding who would volunteer themselves. Unfortunately, I received a call at just that moment and it was an urgent call. I had to take it. It was hardly 10 seconds that I had taken that call. When I returned, I had been volunteered by him for a case study which I had not even read. And I could no longer find on my laptop. So I had to ask somebody to read the case study for me and then enact the role play. Such is the power of distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick, who has been a distinguished Toastmaster twice. He retired from IBM in November 2014. And he's been an active Toastmaster. He has trained more than 300 people in Speechcraft. And more than 150 of these trained people are now Toastmasters. He's been a TEDx speaker. He has been a keynote speaker. He's been a columnist. He's been the best area director at one point of time. I think the list goes on and on and on. But suffice it to say that the District 41 calls him Gandalf of District 41. Also called Yoda, he is. And I'm not going to do the hum sound because I'm ridiculous absolutely at mimicry. So, without any further delay, let us invite Distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick, Speechcraft. Speechcraft, Distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick. The stage is yours, sir. You'd just like to unmute, please. Thank you.
I hope I could be heard clearly. And yes, I'm the old man with a lot of white beard, but let me tell you, from the core of my heart, believe that one of the best Toastmasters that we have around us is Roli. And I can tell you, yesterday that was the first name which came to my mind because I thought she would be leading the entire team the best. And she did that. Now, let's talk about Speechcraft. Ladies and gentlemen, what is Speechcraft? Speechcraft, in very simple terms, is doing something for the corporate. And if I have some HR people here, they will all tell you that during a pre-rehearsals, the people manager or the managers have a very common suggestion for their reportees, and that is poor communication skills. I don't know how many of you are HR people, but whenever I have spoken to HR people or whenever I have found people trying to, give promotions or stop a promotion, one of the salient features which would come up was lack of communication skill. And therefore, almost every corporate HR is looking for someone who comes in and helps in improving the communication skills of people or the reportees or the different employees. And let me tell you here that each one of those sessions, which are normally for 2 days, has a lot of high-fly approaches taken by the trainer. And at the end of 2 days, people are videoed and they can speak on a topic for 2 minutes, and that video is then sent to the HR manager saying that, look, these were the guys who had attended and the participants' quality of communication has gone up. And the company pays a few lakh of rupees for those 2 days. And of course, these participants are there in 5-star hotels, so there's a lot of good feedback which comes back, and it goes on like this. But however, my experience, and I'm sure Rupinder, who's been with me on these journey of Speechcraft, will tell you that at the end of 1 month after these trainings that are held in these 5-star hotels, the quality has gone back to where it all started off. Now, to be able to help you in trying to market Toastmasters, market Speechcraft, and get extra revenue for your club. Tell me, you pay the $45 to TI, and then you have to ask for some money from all your team members and all your members so that you can do some other expenses. Maybe the place where you have a meeting, okay, today we are virtual, but in other terms, we are in a situation where you have to spend money for running the club. And the members have to dole out a lot of money to be able to do that. But if you have Speechcraft, you're earning money for the club, for your expenses. So starting with that thought in mind, Speechcraft came to us when we were talking to a very senior director of Toastmasters who had come in from Sri Lanka, and he had told us that the main approach which all the clubs take in Sri Lanka is to run these small Toastmaster events, which are known as Speechcraft, at various colleges, clubs, corporates, and that is how they get revenue for running their own clubs. Now, truly, Speechcraft is only a fast track cash course in the same things that we do in Toastmasters, but we do it for corporates. It is a 8 weeks long, 2 hours per week program. That is 16 hours in all in which this whole program is done. Again, just like Toastmasters, we use it as a learning by doing things by themselves, which means just like Toastmasters, we do our preparation of speeches and other things. They do it that way. It's basically designed to learn public speaking, presentations, and leadership skills. Again, gain confidence in facing an audience. And it's normally for converting non-members into members by using this process. And to me, wherever I have gone, I have tried to sell this as a package in which we deliver to the management in groups of 20, where we get 20 participants, or at best 25 participants, and a group of people from Toastmasters get involved with it and help people, just like we mentor our own colleagues and our own mentees within the club. It's something like that that we approach. You know, this is actually a opportunity for the organization to get associated with brand Toastmasters. So you are marketing Toastmasters in these organizations. It also is a structured program to gain confidence and learn public speaking. We market it as it helps you to think quickly, be good listeners, exactly the things which corporate want in their employees. So you're actually telling them what we have for them, which they are looking for, and which they can actually constantly monitor, because we will be sending them reports on each of the sessions that we do. I also believe that in any management group, one request is about people giving proper feedbacks. A lot of corporates suffer with the problem that employees don't give feedback to their managers or to the group. And therefore, a lot of things which happen just goes on, and therefore it has a lot of repercussion on the team building as well as the entire communication channels which get broken within the organization. A typical Speechcraft session would be of presenting, welcoming the people, and then presenting a training module. I'll talk about it as we go along. And then we have some of the participants doing prepared speeches for a period of 3 to 4 minutes, not the 5 to 6 minutes that we, or 5 to 7 minutes that we normally do. And then we have impromptu speeches in the form of table topics. which is again 1 to 2 minutes. There is evaluation done by the mentors who are there or the trainers who are there, and at a later date by the fellow participants. So that's where the feedback part starts coming in. It is a structured feedback for the delivered speeches. There are manuals that are given by Toastmasters in the form of, now they are soft copies, so you can get them and circulate it amongst the people. And then the most important part is we have a tag team which is there to help them through this entire speech. We have the role players which we have to build in to the whole thing, and that is in the form of exactly the same way that we have a meeting. I just wanted to check with the timer. What is the time that you've given me?
The speech was of 8 to 10 minutes. As of now, 10 minutes, 23 seconds have been.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, I've not even gone through half the whole thing. Anyway, basically, I think what I really wanted to tell you was about how to market this product and why you should do it. For more details, I can go into a lot of details. What are the different types? But exactly the way we do the first six projects that we used to do in the CC manual is exactly what we do here. And there are table topics that we start with a particular level and then we go up. And finally, what I'm trying to put across to you is, please make an effort in your own corporates to ask your friends and people there that this is one way that you can learn public speaking and get away with the fear of public speaking. Because at the end of the day, you can have a corporate club within your own company. So try this, and I'm available anytime. Me as well as Rupinder is available anytime you want us to help you out with anything. You're most welcome. You're most welcome. And thank you for this opportunity. Over to you, Madam Roli. I always think you're the best.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick. That was quite an enlightening experience that you shared about Speechcraft. I have been a part of one myself, and it was truly an enriching experience, even as a participant from the Toastmasters fraternity. So thank you so much for sharing the importance of having this program and how and why we should market it in our corporates and otherwise in our circles. Thank you so much. I'm sure we will be making an effort to do this. Toastmasters and dear guests, now it is time for us to receive feedback for all that we have been trying to accomplish through this entire meeting. To get this feedback to us, we have our general evaluator who will be conducting the evaluation segment along with her team. Toastmaster Shivpriya is a journalist. She is a senior producer with India TV, which means that we all should be quite careful about what we say. Ironically, she's one person who's completely self-effacing and always finds perfection in others. She's also another person I have found to be extremely positive while delivering feedback. She idolizes constructive criticism. It is my pleasure and privilege to hand over the stage to our general evaluator of the meeting, Toastmaster Shivpriya.
Thank you, Roli Sinha. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the most important section of the meeting, where we all will help the speakers and the role players to improve through our effective and honest feedback. In order to utilize this opportunity to the maximum, please be concise and to the point when giving your evaluation. Please try to avoid the repetition of the commendation and recommendations and simply pass on your turn if your feedback is already covered. Now, please welcome our professional speaker of the day, DTM Mukesh Thakur, with a huge round of applause.
Thank you very much. So, apart from the feedback you are giving right now, I might miss someone. So I have also shared one link. Please give me your feedback there because I am working as my short-term goal on pronunciation. I want you to rate me on that. And I would like to start from Sourindra sir, DTM. Sourindra sir, your feedback about my speech. Sourindra sir.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I could recollect. Okay.
Yeah.
So I heard you speak today after almost 2 years. And let me tell you, I'm bowled over. I can't believe the improvement that you have brought about in yourself. You're amazing, sir. Your sense of humor and the way you were using certain punches, it's absolutely fantastic. Rupinder had told me about it. He'd forewarned me about it. But tell you, I am shell shocked. And that's the word I'm going to use, the word shock, because I never expected such a fantastic improvement. The other point is pronunciation, sir. It takes time. You have to work on it. And sir, may I request you never to feel that that's a negative point in you. At times, it's a way you can use it to your own benefit. But please take a word which you think is not correct. Keep repeating the word after you've heard what is the actual pronunciation. Record it on an audio and listen back. And I'm sure as you make that effort, you'll be over with this issue of pronunciations.
Thank you very
All
much.
the very best, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Next is Devina. Can you share?
MD.
Hey.
I have a couple of points of recommendation for you. First is, I would just have liked if you straight off the bat had mentioned how many elements would you be sharing. That would have helped me keep track of where the speech was heading. The other bit is about memorability of the 6 steps that you shared. I can hardly recall 2 of them right now if I don't read my notes. So what you can do to improve that is try and build a narrative around the steps that you bring in. So say first thing that people struggle with is finding a topic, then you settle that issue. Then going on, you go on to saying finding a topic that's appropriate for the audience and then talk about audience, and then writing jokes and delivering them, then the other set. So that just brings in a narrative and makes it easier to remember everything. The other thing is using the terminology that's frequently used so that if people want to explore it further, they can go back. So things such as in the rule of 3, there's something called a misdirection with the third bit. So that terminology could have helped everybody when they go back and try and research more. That would stick with them. And I would have liked if you gave equal importance to all parts, because I somewhere felt you just rushed through audience, just mentioned it and just left it right there. So that's my feedback for you.
Thank you very much. Wonderful feedback. Now there is a green card. I need Rupinder's comment.
Mukesh, I often get asked to speak on humorous speech contests, and I keep on refusing them. I keep on refusing them because I don't think I'm capable of doing that, because I think somebody else can do it better. And I remember sharing this idea with you and you telling me that already you've got an offer to speak. And I think that you did full justice to the subject matter. I understand that those 6 steps could be outlined better, but the point is that you had 20 minutes. What you can try is developing a mnemonic for that. Like to remember the 9 planets, we say, my very educated mother just showed us 9 planets. So some mnemonic for that, and that will help the people. I'm not able to do that right now for you, but given time, I can help you with that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Roli, quickly, I think red light will turn on any time. Roli, please.
My apologies. So I love the content, the depth into which you went. Agree with the points that Devina and Rupinder have already shared, and Sourinder sir's point of uh, improving the pronunciation is also very valid. I just felt that somewhere in the beginning, your confidence seemed a little low to me. The impact with which you were speaking came on in the second half of the speech. The first part was a little low on energy, maybe. So you might want to work on that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you to all of you, and I need the feedback from all rest of you. Please send it over the form or through WhatsApp or in some other way. Thank you. Over to Chair Evaluator.
Thank you, Mukesh. Now I would like to invite our prepared speaker, TTM Devina Chaturvedi, to the virtual stage.
Madam General Evaluator, may I begin by seeking recommendations from you?
Okay, I'll give it later.
All right, then I'd like to jump to Distinguished Toastmaster Shivpriya Gowri.
Thank you, DTM Devina, Distinguished Toastmaster Devina. I really like the structure of your entire speech. I liked how you started with the problem, how you started with what you're going to do, and how is that you're going to do. My two recommendations for you are, number one, when you started with a problem, end with an impact. Somewhere it just ended with a plan of action, but it did not tell that how is going to impact or how is it going to solve those problems which you have identified. That's number one. And number two, somewhere I felt that there were laundry lists which you had stated in the beginning. They were just like the reasons kept on coming. So somewhere it kind of highlighted that there wasn't much thought which has been put into the pathways program, which perhaps may not be right. So maybe stick to top 3 or top 5 issues and not all of them, so that it looks like you have identified these 3 issues and you're trying to work towards it. So that would make it more constructive as the presentation. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you. Could I now hear from Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta?
Thank you, Devina. Devina, I found that the speech was, as far as the structure is concerned, it was well structured, and the points which you raised and the ideas which you advise to be brought changes around were good. I felt that the changes which were suggested were not so drastic. So if you are just offering two pathways at the cost of, say, 36 or $38, so that is not a drastic change. So I think people can, instead of that, people can still buy it at $20. And otherwise, I felt that you were confident, you were smiling, and that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raj sir. Could I now hear from Ankur? Master Ankur.
Devina, I like 2 things. First was the use of virtual background as presentations. And second was the flow of the presentation. Only thing which I would recommend is the virtual background, the font size could have been a bit bigger. Few of the words I had to really concentrate to read. Apart from that, I really like the way of presenting and also the presentation.
Could I now hear from Roli, Toastmaster Roli?
Sure. So, Devina, I, of course, love the proposal, and I would love it if we could just go and make it a little more constructive, add on certain things to it, and then propose it to TI. Regarding the presentation, there was a blank slide at the end. For a while, you were just talking. And you could have had, I felt that you could have had certain points there, maybe just like as a question mark to the audience, what would you say, or something like that, just so that the appearance of the blank slide would not have been so obvious. Also, during the presentation, if you had a slide where it showed what is the current status and what is it that you're proposing, like a kind of a flow chart or a comparison, it would have helped to retain the message a little more and brought out the difference better. Thank you.
Thank you, Roli. Could I hear from distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh?
Yes. So Devina, again, I really still am wondering how did you change the background while you were giving the speech? I am not able to do myself. My mind will not concentrate. So that, as well as your flow and your thought of restructuring all the analysis of the pathways and bringing out, making out of one plan is wonderful. My recommendations in the initial part of your speech, I felt you were trying to remember, or I felt that you are a bit less confident than the latter part of the speech, just as it was for my speech. And so I thought that you were trying to remember and also trying to make sentences. Second is cost component. I felt that increasing the cost component while proposing it might be an area of concern for the targets. So you might think of doing an optimization there. And the last is uh, in the beginning, just tell what you are going to achieve, and at the end also do the maybe repeat it because till the half or more than half of your speech I did not know what I am going to get after considering this proposal. So maybe a high level summary or one liner that what we are going to achieve, it will help me. Thank you.
So something like beginning with how would you like a program that offers this, and then going ahead with it.
Yeah, so ultimately what will I become? I will become DTM with lesser effort, or I will lesser cost or whatever.
Got it. Interesting. Thank you so much, everyone, for your feedback, and apologies for everybody I couldn't see feedback from. I'm just sharing the link again. Please be as detailed as possible in sharing your comments. Thank you so much. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Devina. And thank you all for your feedback for the speakers. Let's not be leery and hear from our supplementary role players about how we scored in terms of time, accounts, and in grammar. Now I would like to invite DTM Shivpriya Gowri to present her grammarian report.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator. A very good evening to one and all. I would be sharing the good usages and not so good usages which I have observed in this meeting, and also would be sharing the report of the word of the day. To start with good usages, and I had a lot, and then my hands started paining, so I left them. So first and foremost is quest for excellence, better organized massacre, saving grace, tap slick humor. I love that. Puns. I like the way the usage of the word puns was done. It was great. Uproar, groupsome, eye for an eye, audience rolling on the floor. Funny, find funny things versus find things funny. Knowledge, armor, etc., etc. So what I noticed was that a lot of the good usages are perhaps the words which we don't use that often, but still are contemporary, or some really good phrases. The words which I see very, very less, I mean, and please speaking other than slaps, like I did not see any different word or uncommon word being used. So that is a challenge for everybody. So try using some archaic words which we don't use it nowadays, or try to use some words which has a very, very rich etymology. And let's see how we do next week with that. Secondly, I also did not see any idioms today, and I was actually hoping for that. And let's also take it as a challenge to use idioms in our speeches, because that would definitely be a great armor for expression. Coming to not so good usages. So I do have some examples, but I have noticed some trends. The trends are that there is an inconsistency in terms of singular and plural. For example, somebody said that it was singular, that is audience, but they said half. So audience is has, or people have. So people, there was a has used instead of have. So please ensure that when you're using a singular noun, your verb is also used, which is used for a singular noun. And number two, somewhere I sense that there was a lot of tense inconsistency. That means the first part of the sentence was in past tense, while the speaker continued, it suddenly became present tense. So when you are talking in past, or when you're narrating a story, please ensure that all the verbs which you use are also in past tense. Number three, I also felt that there was a lot of mother tongue influence which affected our delivery in terms of using some words, especially which includes S, Z, J, etc. So that is something which we could avoid. For example, pledge was used like pledge, S was special was used as, or pronounced as special, etc., etc. And also there are some cases where we mispronounce, or we do not take into consideration about the common noun. For example, audience is a common noun, but it is singular. Similarly, when we talk about a common noun, then please ensure that it means a bunch of people. Having said that, that is singular. So audience, like, that is how it is. So please ensure that you keep this in mind. The word of the day was used by two people, the Madam Toastmaster of the day and Madam Gender Evaluator, as my observation, and of course our special person called the prepared speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Devina Chaturvedi. Even if I have noted it down, but I'm sorry I did not write your name, but your expressions did help me say it out loud. With that, I end my grammarian report and I hand over the stage back to the general evaluator.
Thank you, Shivpriya. Now I would like to invite our counter of the day, DTM Raj Mehta, to the virtual stage.
Thank you, General Evaluator and Shivpriya Prasad. Starting with Rupinder Singh, DTM, he used okay once and 4 times, sorry once, I think once, now twice, you know once, short past 1. Coming on to Anshupriya Prasad, till now, and use 5 times, 1, like 1, I have repeated 2 times. Raj Mehta, and 5 times, 2 times. Roli Sinha, 4 times and 5 times. Short pauses 4, so 5. I repetition 2 times. And sorry about that, which was not a part of the speech or the part of the sentence. Mukesh Thakur asked 4 times and 7 times. Okay, 1, yeah, 1, once. Now 3. Short pauses 2, so thrice. He said like various world champion speeches. Then he changed to all the world champion speeches. So that was a crutch. Some of the words were repeated like I, everything. Third is, I felt, you. Coming on to Devina, and thrice, so twice. That we, that were. It was a half words or phrase. Still misplaced. And are twice. List of members, pool of members. Shivpriya, it's repeated. As 6 times. While repeated. Very repeated. So thrice. Like once. Actually once. People and somebody, that was said in the same sentence. Aditya used all right, which was not part of the speech, and I'm so sorry, which was also not required. Table topic speakers, Devin used so twice and twice. Seema used well, and it is our job, not job but duty. And Rupinder and Shivpriya as table topic speakers. Rupinder had a long pass and he used once. Shivpriya used once. Nimisha 4 times, which repeated. I will repeat it. Once. and 4 times. That's all from my side. Thank you very much.
Thank you, DTM Raj Mehta. Now I would like
Ankur Shrimali did not use any hours or hours.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that much detailed report, DTM Raj Mehta. Now I would like to invite our timer of the day, TM Ankur Shrimali, to the virtual stage.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator. Let me share my screen for the report. Please confirm if you are able to see the report. Master.
Yes, we can see the report, Ankur.
Okay, all right. So, in a nutshell, today was a slightly disappointing day for the timer's office. As you can see, the H column has lots of reds in the place which are exceeding the green. Green means we were well within the time allotted, including the 30 seconds grace period, and red means we have exceeded the 30 seconds grace period as well. I understand that Toastmaster of the Day had an overwhelming content on the topic or the theme chosen, but that was even more overwhelming for the agenda. We could not fit it in the time. In the professional speech segment, our professional speaker exceeded the time limit in the speech as well. In the table topic segment, individual speakers, as you can see in the Toastmaster Rupinder and Shivpriya segment, I feel that they consider it to be a 2-speaker speech slot. Apart from the rest of them were all within the time limit. In the prepared speech segment, we had the speaker as well exceeding the time limit for the speech. As you can see, he took 8 minutes and 20 seconds. Sorry, she took. And then in power talk segment as well, we exceeded time. The speaker took 11 minutes and 52 seconds. In the evaluation segment, both the evaluations exceeded time limit of 5 minutes. And the grammarian also exceeded the time limit to 3 minutes and 52 seconds. As of now, I have taken 1 minute and 49 seconds, but if you compare the time which we should have been on 5:45 and we are on 5:57, so we are running 12 minutes behind. That's it from my end. I would request everyone to be more laconic and crisp in their speeches from future meetings. Thank you, and over to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Okay, thank you, Ankur. Okay. Okay, now it's my time to deliver my overall evaluation, and thank you all the role players for that detailed reports. First of all, I would like to acknowledge that our meeting has started exactly at 4 p.m. Let's appreciate ourselves for starting the meeting on time. Guests were introduced properly, keeping in mind the time limit, and meeting was started in a highly professional and motivational way by our president, DTM Rupinder. He talked about an important but often neglected point. Try not to bore your audience or disappoint them. Point well taken, Mr. President. We would be careful about it. And Toastmaster of the Day, Roli took this message forward and presented an intriguing and informative theme. She explained the structure well and kept the humor alive throughout the meeting. I loved her expressions and personal introductions of the speakers. Only one recommendation, Roli, a little bit more careful with the time. That's all. Our professional speaker, DTM Mukesh, Thakur's speech was quite insightful. His tips were quite useful for anyone who wants to become better in delivering humorous speech. And I don't agree with you, Mukesh. You said if you can do humor, anyone can do it. I think you are epitome of humor. And recommendation, just one, that it was nice to hear some portions from your iconic speech, Amazing Toastmasters. Still, I felt the humor was little less this time. I can only say DTM Mukesh Thakur, ye dil mange more. High expectations from you. And roundtable evaluation for you was quite positive, Mukesh, and encouraging. And very good suggestions came out. It will definitely help the speaker to improve. Our prepared speaker, DTM Devina Chaturvedi, enlightened us with her knowledge of pathways. I especially like the innovative way of slide sharing. One more thing to learn from you, Devina. Kudos to you. And our grammarian, DTM Shivpriya Gowri, did an excellent job. She diligently observed many nuances of English. She also introduced a unique word of the day, leery. Our counter, DTM Raj Mehta, produced an efficient and detailed report. He did manage to point out shortcomings which impede the flow of the speech. Hope that the speakers have jotted down his recommendation so that they can improve from the next time. As a timer, Ankur did a fantastic job. He managed to tell the people, tell the role players if they were overshooting the time in the meeting. I appreciate that. And our table topic master, TM Aditya Gupta, came up with innovative table topics which kept everyone engrossed. He also encouraged everyone to participate. I admire his preparedness and alertness. Only one recommendation: I would have appreciated more, Aditya, if you would have kept the time count yourself. And our first table topic speaker, Devin Solanki, recalled an excellent story. And our second table topic speaker, Seema, delivered an marvelous impromptu speech. She also gave an valuable advice: smile and make others smile. I loved it. And our third TT speaker, TTM Rupinder and TTM Shivpriya, were spot on with their speeches. The topic was apt for them. I think roasting comes to them naturally. I thoroughly enjoyed it, of course, at Aditya's expense. And our fourth TT speaker, Nimisha, you tried your best. I liked your spirit not to give up. And look at you, how gloriously you bounced back. I really appreciate. And our Power Talk speaker, DTM Sourindra Bhowmick, gave us valuable information about the most important aspect of his speechcraft. His wise advice will surely help us to generate extra revenue for the club. And I think that going ahead with only one prepared speaker was a good idea. With this, we are able to finish our meeting in time, I hope. And one more thing, I observed that TMOD and a speaker were talking during 1 minute silence. Not recommended at all. So, and with this, I conclude the evaluation section. Overall, it was a splendid meeting. Only a few recommendations. I hope we will do more better next time. With this, I hand it over to our president, TTM Rupinder. Over to you, Rupinder.
Okay. Just a 1 minute evaluation of our general evaluators, Toastmaster Ankur Shrimali. Ankur Shrimali, I've got just one word of, not one word, one phrase of advice for you. I feel that sometimes you feel that you're not doing the right thing. And I will tell you, do not feel that way. believe in yourself, because I saw you falter in between while giving your report. You have a very wise person sitting in this room. I will ask you to connect with him later, Sourindra Bhowmick. He's probably the only other person I trust as a general evaluator, especially in Gurgaon. So have a word with him. Be sure of yourself whenever you're giving feedback, and have confidence, because what this feedback you give is spot on. And the rest of the role players, wonderful meeting. Thank you so much. I would especially like to call out Raj sir for his diligent report as an aha counter. I felt like reciting a dialogue in Hindi, like talking to another club and telling them, जहाँ तुम्हारा जनरल इवेल्युएशन खत्म होता है ना, वहाँ से हमारा अकाउंटिंग शुरू होता है. So it was that kind of a report. So wonderful report, Raj sir. I would now like to turn the attention. Guests, please don't leave just yet. Before I move on to the guests and take their valuable feedback, I would like to know if anybody of our professional speakers would like to request help or commend any other professional speaker. Anyone?
I would like to thank distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. In the middle of the week with the new work starting, I kind of had a moment where I almost gave up on meeting my short-term goal. And he just said, it's okay if you don't make any progress, as long as you hold on to that goal and hold on to that vision. That's also progress in some way. So wise words made me stay on track. So thank you, MP.
Okay, anyone else?
Yeah, I would like to put on record my thanks to Mukesh Thakur, Roli, Sinha, Shivpriya, and Devina for helping me in making my speech for the speech contest of Division P. Thank you very much.
Great. And Raj sir, many congratulations for participating. And I haven't seen your presentation yet. I would love to see it. Do share the video as and when it becomes available. Yeah. Anyone else who would like to say something to a fellow professor? Yes, Shivpriya.
I would like to thank Toastmaster Roli Sinha, Toastmaster Mukesh, distinguished Toastmaster Devina, and most importantly, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta for keeping me on track to follow what a Toastmaster needs to do. I think you guys have been like family to me, so that is amazing. I would also like to highlight that no matter what, no matter if we face tornadoes or volcano eruptions or a tsunami, one thing that will not change is the love and hate relationship between me and a fellow Toastmaster. So with that, I would hand over the stage back to the presiding officer.
Okay, the red card is a fellow.
I would also like to request that the members who have not renewed, kindly renew it as early as possible.
Thank you for completing that for me, Raj sir. I was actually going to say just that.
Members keep coming on Wednesday meeting.
And yes, every Wednesday we have a special table topics meeting. I would love every one of you to attend. Now let me go to the guests, and I will start in the reverse order in which I see them. Let me ask Suchasmita, who did not get a chance to speak. So let's give her a chance to speak. Suchasmita, how did you like this meeting?
You are mute.
You are on mute, Suchasmita.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. It's my rapture to be here, to present here, to listen all of you, all the dulcet speaker. And the last week only I have joined Toastmaster as a member. So I'm a new member of community club. And I'm in learning stage. I'm learning there also. I'm learning here also. It's always pleasure for me to be a part of your session. And I just miss the table topic. But next time I'll be the one to raise my hand first for voluntarily.
Okay. I thought you were going to say that next time I'm going to come prepared with a table topic. I said you can't do that.
For the table topics are in the next meeting.
Okay. Next time I'll raise my hand. Great. That I am a first volunteer.
We might not have some volunteers for other roles, but we have a volunteer for table topic, which is encouraging. Moving on to the person who was going to be called after Suchasmita, Gayatri. She did not get a chance to speak. Gayatri?
Yes. Thank you, Rupinder. Most importantly, the kind of ease and the kind of comfort with which all the speakers spoke was was marvelous. It was amazing. I mean, it was very, very, very inspiring for someone like me. And there were a lot of efforts behind every speech that was presented. Even all the Toastmasters who were conducting their own roles, there was a lot of effort involved in it. And yet it looked so effortless. And I think that was the success. The roast session between Rupinder ji and Shivpriya ji was also amazing. Again, the effortlessness and the ease and comfort. I think that these key things are what really made me, I was in awe. I'm in awe of the entire process. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much. And guys, you are amazing. Wonderful.
Thank you, Gayatri. Yes, every person in this room has a success story to tell. When Raj sir says is a self-confessed stammerer, you should have listened to him 4 years earlier and how much he has improved. Similarly, for Mukesh, when Sourindra sir said that he's listening to him after 2 years, it is actually the truth. He's listening to him after 2 years, and he's improved tremendously. And between Shivpriya, myself, Sourindra sir, Raj sir, and Mukesh Thakur, we were in the district officers list at the same time. And for many of us, Mukesh was our de facto division director as far as Gurgaon was concerned. So wonderful. Devin, how about you?
It was a wonderful experience. Like I heard a lot about your club from one of my club mates, Toastmaster Rahul. So I thought it will be a good opportunity to join you guys. And whatever he told me, it was very less than what I have experienced here. You all are great, full with energy. I have seen you guys at the district or rather division level, like Rupinder sir, Raj Mehta sir, and Shivpriya ma'am, and Roli Sinha ma'am. But today I got a chance to listen and hear all of you. So it was a very great experience for me. Thank you. Keep on doing great job.
Thank you very much, Devin. And who was this Rahul once again?
Rahul Sharma.
Oh,
Area director.
SDTM. Okay, great. And if I have, we have the omnipresent. Some people are saying the new Rupinder, Nimisha Singla. They're found everywhere, so that's why.
I've been attending. I mean, today it was really takeaways. I have a lot many takeaways about humor, about speechcraft, about pathways. Everything was so great. It's like when you think that okay, I cannot learn something new, but somehow when I come here, it is always I take something, and trust me, I have seen the growth in myself from observing great speakers over here, and it is my pleasure, completely my pleasure to be here. And if anybody says that I am another Rupinder, I don't. It is my pleasure, but I don't want to offend you.
Don't be Rupinder. And one more word of advice: whatever Devina said is fictional. Do not go about announcing in district that these changes are coming, because I don't want Nivish breathing down my neck as a Rupinder. What have you said to people?
No.
People are saying that
I
they are
heard the
getting
word.
discounted rates.
I heard the word. Yeah, I heard the word hypothetical, and
Exactly.
I've heard repeating it again and again. Devina also hypothetical. So I will not.
Imagine Nimish telling it to, also Nimisha saying it to Nimish, and he says, Nimish,
Okay.
That was a PG, I know.
Okay. Thank you for laughing at my expense. Happy to make you happy. Moving on to the Gandalf of District 41. Master Yoda, he is. Distinguished Toastmaster Sourindra Bhowmick.
You know, every meeting that I go, I want to learn something. And today I learned a lot. First, the Mukesh sir's one startup when he said that humor is serious business. I think humorous speech and serious business was a very hard-hitting point which he made, and that I'm going to learn a lot about. Raj sir's way he did his role today was another learning. I the cable topic which they went about, and knowing fully well that we have two people who can fight for the smallest of things in life, and having them pitted against each other was, I think, a wonderful trump card that he played. Mm. I am really inspired, and I learned a lot today from Roli on how to be a good TMOD, and she really did an amazing job. And if I'm not taking too much of time, I thought, Devina, you are amazing. Your fluency and the way you conduct yourself and the ease at which you talk is something which is worth learning. And I've taken back from this meeting today so many fantastic things. I am absolutely indebted to each one of you for having given me an opportunity today to be with you. Thank you so much.
So
Over to you, sir.
one of the things I hope you have not taken back is the fact that you are the table topic master in Blue Quest this week. I'm going to make sure Shivpriya is not there, and I'm not going to let you pit Shivpriya against me one more time.
No, don't worry, because like you said, we will hardly see her in our club. So she's already spent, she's already spent 2.5 hours yesterday evening. So she's done her quota for the next 6 months.
Sourindra sir, please keep coming to our meetings.
Shivpriya,
I will
you
try
need
my
aloe
best.
vera. You need aloe vera. That burned. Anyway, thank you very much, everyone. And before we close, and before I say that the next meeting starts and you say now and I say yesterday, I would like to ask Mukesh Thakur to introduce us to the Power Talk speaker next week, since he's the one who's got the Power Talk speaker for next week.
So I am still in the talk. I have sent the mail to the part of the speaker, but I am still waiting for the response. Though she has agreed over LinkedIn texting, but let me first have answer from her. Otherwise, she is one of the main lead journalists from TV, and she is Ritika Jhanji. So I got to know her. She is an independent anchor for NDTV and many other TV channels. So let me see if I am able to fix the schedule with her.
Great. With that, I'm going to stop the recording for this meeting.